So just as quick as I took my behind outside, I'm back in. It's hot. I was trying to get me some sun and just eat my food out there. Get a little peace, a lot of peace. It was just hot. So now my younger son is out there and I'm keeping an eye on him. I don't know what he out there trying to do. Besides run around, I guess. I'm trying to get the camera to see. Um, Food was definitely good. I better definitely make sure I rack up on some some fruit. Um, I done got me a tan already for the sun, so I'll be sitting out there in the sun. But this ain't no got. Still kind of tripping over the fact that um dude showed up at my house yesterday, last night. But the other thing I'm thinking about is how what's your location? Okay, so yeah, um, showed up at my house. But yeah, other thing I'm tripping on, I am starting like trip on a little bit is the fact that my daughter have been places with people, and it might not have been much, but been some places with people, and of course my boys wasn't included, and of course if my daughter was in the house, I wouldn't have, I probably more than likely wouldn't have approved for her to go either. But she's been places with people, and I did not authorize it, and to me it's messy. It's messy because number one, well, it's messy because I didn't authorize it. Number two, it's messy because my boys wasn't included, and my boys are in common to these same people. So they like singled her out and stuff like that. And of course, she's the firstborn, but and then it goes back to me being the firstborn too. But honey, people tried to. It's crazy because people tried to shut down anything that I was doing, or you know what I'm saying, that I felt was beneficial to me for as a firstborn. But you know, with my daughter there being messy, and I just look at it like this: she got over there with her so-called dad. Again, the boys are so-called dad doing well, teaming up with her dad. That's fine for you. It would be fine for you to team up with her dad if you were first teamed up with me, as far as these kids' well-being and just in general. Um, because none of y'all would be connected if it was not for me. Because I did have to have something to do with it. I had the children and this and that. So again, it's just like disregarding and we ain't worrying about what she say and you know what I'm saying? Instead of having respect, instead of honestly even leading by example or you know what I'm saying, being a role model, having that respect, y'all are trying to make it seem to even the next generation that it's okay to disrespect somebody else's word. Um, it makes me uncomfortable, but it just also makes me to me, I just still strongly believe it's disorderly, and it's you're still doing stuff disorderly, and that could ultimately lead to error. But again, God got it. God did allow for her to go these places and stuff like that. I don't know what it's for. Of course, I ain't sitting down telling my boys, "Oh, she went here and y'all didn't get to go there with these people, these same people that y'all got in common and stuff like that." I'm not a petty person. I'm not trying to be a messy person, so I'm not gonna do that even amongst my children. Start and cause no drama or no, like riffraff amongst them. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. And then there was a time when I had told my daughter so-called dad, I was like, we can all sit down in front of everybody. I ain't doing that. But you feel like you want to. I feel like you should go to them if I was not here. So this goes back to, again, stuff being concealed from me and stuff like that and kept from me. But if I could go, if I was gone, then you could do that. But you're trying to operate like I'm gone and I'm not existing and I'm not here, but I'm still here. So that's a problem to me. And of course, to me, that just lets me know your mentality and stuff like that. I did not try or set out to operate like he wasn't here because he wasn't here. It was a point in time when he was locked up for over a year. That was, but right when my daughter was born, it's nothing I could do. I didn't have no choice but to make decisions. What, I'm just gonna sit there and wait till he get no, not. And even then, I was still trying to include him. As soon as he came out, I did what I believe was the orderly thing. Okay, do you want our daughter to go such and such? And he was just like, man, let her go such. I'm like, what? It was the way he said. It's like, you don't know what order is. You don't know how to operate in a respectful manner and stuff like that. But I guess I fooled and played myself when it came to that. But that's what he said. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a problem. But I had told my own so-called mom, I was like, let me ask her. Let me find out from her dad and see, if he got anything planned. Because it was the order. And my so-called mom, she did not like that. Well, it's fine. She don't have to go. I know she don't have to go. So that's what I'm saying when it comes to stuff like that. Like, trying to do stuff in an orderly fashion. And this is just me trying to work on stuff at home. Start at home. It's for you to start at home before you try to before you try to branch out into the community and act like you can help everybody else. Get straight at home, get stuff going in an orderly fashion, and then from there, spill over however necessary, in a good way. But this is what these folks been doing and trying to do this whole time. And so whoever linked her, whether it was him, thinking that y'all supposed to get the trust of my so-called mom and this, that, and the third, or whatever, by letting her go somewhere and being able to interact with them, that's, that right there is not good. And God, and this is the thing, God sees and He knows and He's watching. He see the things that they've done. Just on everything where they no, don't tell her about it. Don't let her know. Don't, you know what I'm saying? And my own so-called mom been doing that for a long time regarding my child and stuff like that. And I just be like, Lord have mercy. The thing is, you're supposed to do that with your kids, or even make attempts, or do it the best way you can. But you do, even if your child does not join in or do those things with you, you do not start and say, well, I'm gonna just pass it on down to my grandkids, or I'm gonna do. No, that's not order. I don't know. It's just it is a conviction for me, even though I'm not the one doing it. It's just bothersome. And so, and I know why pretty much why it's bothersome, because again, y'all trying to operate like I'm not here. But again, my children had to come through me. I thank God and I give God the glory. Y'all need to give God the glory. I've given God the glory that my children have even came came through some other people. You know what I'm saying? Because biologically, if I wasn't here, then they couldn't be here, and I came from, what I'm saying. So I acknowledge that, but they don't, and so I don't know what it is, but it's definitely gonna move me to pray continuously about it, because I don't care for it, and it's like you're trying to put my daughter in something messy, and you're trying to confuse her and cause confusion. Yes, you're giving her these experiences, and they might be nice or whatever, and they might seem on the surface like, hey, I'm just checking on you. Where you at, by the tree or something? Okay, make sure if you get too hot, you come in and get you something to drink and stuff like that. Um, you still got your Capri Suns and stuff too. Anyway, giving these experiences and stuff, but that's not really her reality. Could be not, but it's not really her reality. And honestly, when I guess her dad and whoever and his mom and his girlfriend went to California, that's not necessarily her reality. Um, that's not her reality, and that's all I can say about that. I mean, that's the main thing I can say about it. I don't know. I'm not saying. I mean, the Bible say what it say. The man's supposed to leave and cleave. He is not supposed to be clinging on to his mom and stuff like that in those unhealthy type of ways. And I'm not being funny when I say even including his mom on stuff like that. Now, it might have been one thing if it would have been him, his so-called girlfriend, and my daughter. That's even pushing it, but it wasn't supposed to be him. And I'm not sitting here saying that it's supposed to be me, because at this point in time, I have decided that I don't want no parts of what he got going on. Because it just took him, to me, it took him too long to, he didn't never come around, to be honest. He just tried to force a situation, and then he got an opportunity. Um, Being that the boys' so-called dad caused confusion and stuff like that. So the boys' so-called dad ended up coming into my life, causing confusion. I allowed him into my life, so I can, that's the part that I have to take in it, the responsibility. Caused confusion, and then ultimately, separated, displaced my daughter from the house. And gave her dad an opportunity, and I guess it was just to save his own tail. And my thing is, you don't have to do that. You left. I mean, my daughter's so-called dad in 2018 was like, yo, nigga gone, but he'll be back. He already knew. He knew stuff that I didn't know. I didn't know where dude was at. I didn't know that dude was gone. They already knew. So that lets you know he's communicating with his mom or whoever in the streets as far as my household and or the boys' so-called dad, with how he related to my household. So I'm just like, oh Lord. For one, I don't got no nigga. I wasn't trying to consider him a nigga. I was trying to consider him a man. But anyway, he came, he did that confusion. And to me, he just messed a lot of stuff up. Instead of, he had so much opportunity and time to make things better. But he chose to just, at times, I don't feel like he deliberately was being messy, but I just feel like maybe he's just a messy person and he just don't know. So people contributed to his life of him being just messy, confusing, puzzling, just like detrimental, causing detriment and stuff. And just with that, I just be like, I don't like to say stuff like this, but yeah, they probably should have swallowed or should have aborted you, but yeah. And then of course he wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have the boys that I have them, so that's where it be the rock and the hard place. So, but the fact that my own, and I've been told my own so-called mom, I wasn't scared, and the my daughter's so-called dad was like, he kept saying you disrespected your mom. No, I didn't disrespect my mom by speaking up and saying, okay, this right here needs to stop. Just me being a young person, and I'm saying this right here, I got a right to say maybe this should not be going on around me, or have anything to do and stuff like that. I have a right to speak up about that. And so he was like, yeah, you disrespecting. Then he had to change his tongue the way he said it. Yeah, you stood up to your mom. Exactly. It's standing up is standing up and speaking up. It's not that's not disrespectful, by far. And so I told her, I was like, yeah, you messy like them. And I told her that was definitely back in 2016 or 17, just to let her know that, okay, I'm on to you as far as that's concerned. She told me, oh, whatever they got going on is going to catch up to them. So that's kind of what I've been standing by and waiting on, because of course now my daughter is definitely old enough to know. She ain't old enough to know I don't want to say the age thing, but I don't feel like she's mature enough to know everything. But she might be mature enough to know and understand more than what I give her credit for. But I think without me kind of coaching and training her, and not in a messy way, in the way that the Bible say train up a child, that it's kind of hard for her to distinguish what's what sometimes. But that's why I pray if she have discernment, that she get understanding, clear understanding, and she can see clearly what be going on and what's what. And that's how her so-called dad's mom relates to my so-called mom, or whoever be doing whatever exchanges as far as getting her in these different places that, again, I didn't have no places. I didn't authorize for her to go. Y'all doing that. So and I do want them held accountable, because I just think it's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. Like, don't operate like I'm not here when I've given you I'm talking about her so-called dad, the opportunity to operate like me and you was operating as a team. He spoke up and said, that is my team. He was talking to his mom. Okay, well, when it comes to raising our daughter, that should not be your priority. when it comes to your life and whatever else you got going on, let that be your priority. But you need to learn how to separate that when it comes to our daughter. So now, so of course, fast forward to last week when his so-called mom, brought my daughter over by here or whatever. And again, I can't give her no credit. I don't even want to say that it was her. I just say the will of God led my daughter here, and that's probably what I need to start saying. But she'll feel like she did something, and she did, she been saying she was gonna do his part or whatever. But she'll feel like she the one that saved the day. And I told him that a long time ago. And then by him saying, "Oh, you stood up to your mom," that lets me know that there's something that you feel like maybe you need to be standing up to your so-called whoever. He ain't got to worry about his so-called dad at this point because his dad is dead. But his mom, and then before my grandma passed, she was just like, he ain't gonna never. Yeah, she could be wrong, but she was just like, he ain't gonna never turn that relationship loose until they die. To me, as far as I'm concerned, they can cling and cleave to each other. They can be each other's partner and whatever else. And like Blueface said, your mama be wanting to be your girlfriend. I think it was her wanting to be like his girlfriend or whatever, and then it got to the point where now he wants somebody like his mom, and even to the point where it might, even with his daughter, he want. But I think he got a good idea that she's not her, but if his girlfriend or whatever, or I don't even know if he ever gonna make it to a wife, but I said if his girlfriend or whatever is not like his mom, then they're never gonna measure up, and that is just horrible. That's horrible, I think, for him. For me, I might have started, girl, I barely started off wanting anybody like my dad, baby. I wanted the total opposite. But at this point in time, I'm wiser. Like, no, there's some aspects of my so-called dad that, that I would like. But, baby, let God build me somebody totally different. Because after my so-called dad showed his tail and I seen them true colors and stuff, I was like, oh, hell no. So that's that. And so then we go to my daughter. I don't know what kind of person, you know what I'm saying? She just might want to disassociate from everybody. And that's the thing. I hope and pray that she doesn't want to disassociate from me, but that's a risk you take when you have kids and bring them into this world in a disorderly fashion and just not in the way that God intended. Um so that's that or whatever. Um what else? I don't know. It just got me feeling type of way, and whatever part of my previously called stepdad had to do with it. Like y'all taking my daughter, knowing good and well, you know what I'm saying. And before my daughter's so-called dad, what was that in 2020 October that year? He was like, "I love you." Oh God, it was so disgusting. It sounded so disgusting. Like, boy, keep me off your tongue. Period. Leave me alone. I love you, and he was like, "I love you. I love you." Oh gosh, it was so. Ugh. It's just foul to me because it was the same tongue that be disrespecting me and all type of stuff. And then he was like, "I love you," and he started speaking my so-called mom name, and my previously called uh stepdad or whatever. I'm like, boy, we don't get up out of here. And so my little warning or whatever, I was like, why is he speaking about you, or why is he bringing you up to me? I asked her, when's the last time? I ain't talked to him and such and such. She could be lying. I don't know. Shouldn't be talking to him and communicating because from a long time ago, I said, what I'm saying, do not, leave him alone, or just like stop trying to do stuff with him. Because to me, that's disorderly as well. It's still you concealing stuff and trying to hide. Um, but I just told him, I was like, um, why is he speaking your name and this and the third? Why is he bringing you up? And I mean, one thing, if they really truly was getting along, that's one thing. But my so-called mom is the one who, what I'm saying, I don't want to say she didn't insult him to his face, but she's the one that called him big and this, that, and the third. She's like this little fat boy and this, that, and the third when he was younger or whatever. And but didn't yet not invite him over, but when he came, she let him sit down and eat. He broke a chair. I mean, he was so big, he broke a chair in the house and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that in no, trying to be funny type of way. That's just what happened. But she was the one who was planting that seed. And that's what he kept telling me. Oh, you said I was this, that, and the third. He was saying all this stuff. And I was like, boy, and you took all that stuff to heart and you took so much offense on that. And then but he'll try to whisper little stuff to me, but I just don't want nothing to do with him. I don't want to raise my daughter with him anymore. I want to move on and move forward. Like, I don't want no parts of that. I still want to raise my daughter and I still want to be involved in her life, but I just don't. Let me check. You still outside?
What did you say?
I said, you still outside?
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I just don't want to do that no more. And then, of course, get to the point with the boys and so called that. After you did that regarding my daughter, I don't like it. And I don't think it's fair. I think it's fair for you to feel like, oh, I don't want her having the resources that my boys may get. That's fine and dandy. But you played it like you liked her and cared for her, as opposed to you actually showing them true colors, for real. Like you played it like you wanted to include her. Me, I felt like going in a situation, if he got a child or whatever. Yeah, I feel like I definitely felt pressure to include, but I also knew this is my house. This is where I reside. She still got a living parent, another living parent outside this house. I wasn't involved with like that. Let her mama can raise her. She gonna be just fine. Her mama only had one child at the time. I don't know if she had any more, but had one child at the time. She'll be all right. That's just the way it will crumble. And I guess he started feeling. I don't know if he did or not. I think he did, but start feeling a type of way like I'm trying to separate him from his child. No, sometimes the will of God separates you from your child, especially if you had your child in a way that he didn't approve of to begin with and stuff like that. And that's just that. And so if you continue to hold on, then you might end up being separated from them, um, for the long run or whatever. But I don't know. But anyway, so that was that or whatever. Um, so I just had expectations, and he didn't meet them. I'm gonna say he didn't meet them fully. I feel like he was trying to at first, but after that, I think it was so foreign to him that he was just like, this is so weird. This is different. So then even my daughter's so-called dad was like, yeah, don't nobody know how to take you. Okay, well that's fine, because I am rare and I like being rare, and I want somebody that's seeking God to be able to know and understand me, because then it's gonna work like it's supposed to. Needless to say, I don't feel like I've ever gotten that. I feel like with the boys' so-called dad, we were getting close, we was getting there, but he allowed so much interference. And I think he even allowed his own feelings or whatever to start interfering. I think he felt like, oh, her daughter getting this, that, and the third, but his daughter was still coming over here. At times, he wasn't even here. She was around her siblings, and it was just, I mean, it's a list of things that I can say. But I just, it is what it is. So basically, in essence, they all started teaming up. But I'm the common denominator that everybody knows. I'm the mother of my daughter, so that's how her so-called dad is even connected. They might know of each other outside of that, but this is why y'all interact with each other, because I have children with such and such person. And so they started trying to make moves or whatever around me, and that's not that to me. That's not how it's gonna go. While I'm here, of course, and when I'm gone, if I'm gone or whatever, God called me home. When God called me home, that's different. Then shit, I feel like it wouldn't even know what to do if that was the case. But yeah, but while I'm here, you know what I'm saying, you don't do that. You run stuff past me, and you know what I'm saying. Now, number one, you run it past God, you get His approval. He gonna give you the authority and the grace to do what He called you to do. But um, I just don't feel like God play no games and stuff with me like that. I really don't. I haven't came across that yet. There's times when my feelings have played games with me, and I might have felt so strongly and thought, "Oh God, this is what's supposed to be for me." And God was like, "Your feelings can tell you that all day, but have I told you that?" So that was that or whatever. But and then so with the older generations or whatever, I do be feeling like they got a right to get into stuff, but I just feel like to a certain extent. Because I do feel like, they there to watch over and stuff. But when you start trickling down to the next generation and not letting us handle it and sort it out the right way, and you start getting in the midst of it and being messy, I just that's not it. It's not it. But that's my only thing. Like, I don't know what's being said. Then it was the boys that so-called dad start saying, "Yeah, I'm on your mama's Facebook." Well, okay, what are you watching her page for? You was already here with me. What do you got to go and look and find out anything about her for? But I understand it slightly because I feel like, yeah, looking back, I should have found out more details about the boys' so-called relatives and stuff like that. You know, see the background. But I was already up close and personal with basically the source or the horse's mouth. So it ain't. I don't need to see too much. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Whatever he decided to hide and conceal, God was revealing to me. I didn't need his mama and them to come back and tell me certain stuff or nothing like that. To be invested. I mean, they weren't telling me no way. They were still hiding stuff anyway. But I ain't need to go watch their Facebook page. I've added people, but I didn't do it to sit and watch their Facebook page. I really put them on there just because I thought that's what we're supposed to do. We need to be trying to connect. And I guess in a sense you are. But that was that, not for me to be pressed about them or moved by what they had going on. So they did too much involving everybody else when that's not what I've desired. That's not what I've been looking for. I have been wanting that person that was gonna not be scared to leave their mother, father, cousins, sisters, siblings, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Other relatives, honey. They relatives twice removed to the third power, and cleave to me and my children and my decision making. You know, of course, the God I serve, at least get to know, understand, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. The God I serve, bow and submit to, and love. Let me not forget love. Lord, I'm sorry that those said last, but yeah, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And if I find that you ain't serving the I don't know how we got our wires crossed. That ain't it. But yeah, so have not came across that person yet, and now at the point, of course, I'm not. I wasn't looking. I was just desiring a long time ago. I wasn't really looking. I just was desiring, and I was keeping my ears open. And then before I knew it, my spiritual ears and eyes was open as well. But but you know, I guess I was attuned or in tune to the wrong wrong vessels or whatever. So now I'm just like, Lord, you know what you're doing. I ain't trying to figure it out on my own. If it's not, I don't even never say if it's not meant for me because I'd be like, Lord, I had this desire, but this desire is just not as strong as it used to be and feel. But it's still there. It's like feels like a little inkling or a little tinge of it, but at this point, my main desire is towards my daughter and my children, period. But of course, it feels a little stronger towards my daughter because she have not been in the house. But, but, um, but it's all of them. And, you know, and of course, I want better for them than what I chose and stuff like that. And what their other so called parent have chosen too, you know. But I still don't see it in the way that others outside of me and my house have chosen to do it. Now they keep on. It's just certain people that just keep coming to my door. I be feeling like it's the wrong people sometimes, but I don't know. I do think men need to do more being the representatives and the mediators and stuff in the black community. So I guess where it is, my so-called, my previously called stepdad, you know, showed up. That's like a representative of my so-called mom, even though she didn't do it. I want them to take the leadership, but they still is something that's just still off seemingly to me, and this because people did wrong and they know they have. I feel like people have tried to do right. I really do. So I can give, you know, and again, God told me I can only give Him the glory, but I feel like I want to give credit where it's that. But He knows something that I don't know, where they just deliberately and intentionally like, oh, I'm gonna manipulate the situation. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it like that, and because they get their feelings. And I honestly seen a female operate like that at a workplace. She was just like, oh, such and such made me mad. I'm gonna make sure I give them this heavy load and this, that, and the third. That's not right. They made you mad. Did you discuss it with them? Did you find out what was going on? You know what I'm saying? But you just decide to give them a heavy load. So that right there, she was in their like generation age group. So that let me know, okay, this is how they be doing. And that just let me know, okay, do I want to do that? Oh, because such and such did this, I'm gonna give them this. I'm gonna give them a harder time or whatever. That's not. And so, baby, that's the case. I done made a whole bunch of people. I done ruffled a whole bunch of feathers or whatever. And so, they'll never let up on me. That's why God is the judge because do you know why that person did that? Do you know why that person responded to you like that? Just like, let's for an example, my so-called neighbor before, he was trying to tell me about, oh, you need to do this with your car and this, that, and the third, and I just kind of was brushing him off like, oh, okay, whatever. And it wasn't me being really mindful or whatever because I had other stuff on in the house going on. I just expected them to understand this is not a day that I feel like being bothered or whatever. Catch me another day, especially as the older. But the problem came when they decided to be spiteful or and just or hold a grudge, should I say, and then just start being petty, just continuing on to be petty, petty, petty. That's where the problem really came from. It was me being dismissive of them, but it was them getting their damn feelings hurt and starting to just be petty. Make sure are you coming in now? Make sure you lock that both locks.
I am.
All right. And so you staying in because I'm gonna turn this walkie-talkie off if so. What?
I said yes.
All right. Well, if you go back out, just let me knock on my door and let me know. Anyway, so he back in. Thank God, back in safely. See, that's my focus. I've been looking at him. At least I couldn't see him, but he was in a blind spot on the camera. But I knew he was right there. I kept it open. I could see if somebody was to come up or something like that. And plus, he had a walkie-talkie. And see, again, they don't know how I'm operating. Don't know how she's still doing what she doing. She ain't lost her mind. She ain't, she ain't. Thank God I ain't lost no children. Even with my daughter being somewhere, that felt like a whole, like almost a loss or whatever. But she came and we interacted. And I believe the prayers of the righteous, not the players, but the prayers of the righteous avail much. I've been still praying for my daughter. It didn't stop her from getting into altercations with people and stuff like that, but it just is what it is. It's just been crazy. So, and that's just me still. I'm speaking on that, the details of it, just because I still want people held accountable. And I was really believe it in 2019. I didn't know when or how or anything, but I was believing in 2019 that something was going my mind almost wanted to say something tragic, but something was going to take place that just, God is getting their attention. But 2020 came and maybe he got their attention with that. I don't know how the people perceived it as far as that, but I was just trying. I was doing all I could, but even when I came, it's like I still don't trust y'all. Even though I went through that, I still trust God. I do not trust y'all. Period. And I had to quickly shift out of any type of trust that I may have felt or had towards them, and any credit that I might have been about to give them or whatever. Thank God for that because I would have been fooled. Like, dang, these are people that, but honey, realistically, them people did not stick beside me or any of that. They wasn't trying to be there and help me in their own strength. It's just maybe some type of way. God was like, it's okay to do this, what else? What else? What else? What else? So now, if I'm saying the ball is in somebody else's court, it's not in their court, but it's like it's in their court for them to make better decisions and to, of course, another chance to repent, turn away, and stuff like that. Because I'm asking God, I'm petitioning God, and I'm asking God, still hold me accountable and keep me in right standing and stuff like that to be able to see clearly. But yeah, my so-called mom told me, "Oh, this stuff gonna come back on me." And I don't know. I have a feeling at times that through my daughter, of course, I know damn she's paying attention. She's like, "Oh, I see they cover stuff up, this, that, and the third." But through her, maybe that's how it's gonna come. But that was my thing. It's like, no, they stuff need to catch up with them without her being involved, directly involved, or even in that vicinity or whatever. That's how I feel. that might not be the way that God does it or allows it. But I just pray that, Lord, please even just remove her physically. I'm not saying anything is about to blow up, but if it does, um, and it was something else I was gonna say, I can't remember, but that's pretty much the gist of it, of what's been going on and what got me it just got me thinking about how you relate to people and stuff. And again, just going back off of how his so-called mom tried to say something to me, and even the look that she gave, but it was just her. It was like her demeanor and stuff like that. The tone, how she said what she said, and just the kind of look like, we ain't right in the head. That's what it was. Like, we ain't right, wrap too tight. We've been calling you crazy the whole time, but it's really us. And that's what it is, and that's why I'm like, ugh. That disgusts me. That's why I'm just like, Lord, cover and keep my daughter. Pray that my daughter learns how to pray the protection and security of God over her life. And but it comes with obedience. You need to be obedient. I don't want her to figure it out on her own. If God's giving somebody to help you, girl, you better utilize your help. In which I know I've been here to help my kids and stuff like that. They don't always ask me stuff, but I want to be here and be there for them. So I just hope she's smart enough and wise enough to utilize me. If not, definitely learn how to go directly God. But if they'll be their so-called owners, that they will be anybody like that. So don't get it twisted. And then again, my daughter is a lighter skin tone version of me, sort of kind of, a little bit. And it's like the lighter your skin, sometimes it seems like, honey, they really do be biased or whatever, got some type of thing against you. I was sitting here like, wow, y'all didn't want race, y'all like that, but y'all treating other people like that. And then I was protected from why I started to get a little racist and prejudice towards white folks, but not honestly, not before I started feeling some of it towards my own so-called people, because I was still so-called people. Yep. But anyway, alright, I'm gone. I've thought about this for so long because I was told that they so damn, by appearances, they know how to keep their stuff up, this, that, and that, but anything else, they are not free. It's some style, smelling stuff. Style smelling, and it's just style. It's not fragrant style. Like I heard a story yesterday when they said somebody was burning they didn't smell like burning flesh, they smelled like, incense and stuff like that. That's fragrant. That's something that's sweet of God. That's what it is. So, for what for, I'm just thankful God gave me another chance in whatever arena that He's giving me, and I pray for other chances in, specific places that I want. But like I said, the strongest desire is to take care of the kids that I do have here. If God allow me to have more, I want to do it. I want to raise it in my husband. I want to raise it with no interference from nobody else. And I want them to have the reality. And sometimes it's not even the big things. It can be simple stuff like just us there for the heart, sitting down to eat. And like your light can shine so bright with you just doing that, smiling, laughing, utilizing these. Yeah, it's still public, whatever, public places, whatever. I don't have to go where the crowd is and stuff like that. And I just want somebody that can understand me, maybe here at 135. And I played my single. And then if the boy is so called down, I said it before, if the boy is so called down, you might want to peer into my life and stuff like that on top control. Yeah, it's sick of stupidity, man. It's like you would rather spend more time being somewhere else and still trying to keep a certain eye over here. I mean, I tried to do this when I was younger, because I guess my so-called dad did it. He came home every now and then I was sleeping. So it's like, I'm going to see what's going on over here real quick, but, I'm over here with y'all, but, well, if you messed up, if you messed up, just say that. And then you might be able to get back in the